of my close friends were like, no, we are the nerds in the shop, right? We were the avionics guys. We beat up on the mechanics all the time. We were the biggest, most, in shape guys in the squadron, which was weird for the nerd shop.
Right. You're listening to the Bar and Restaurant Podcast, where hospitality lovers come to listen and learn with expert David DiLorenzo.
All right, we are back with another Bar and Restaurant Podcast, and I've got my, let's just say, old but new friend, right, Justin Cross. How you doing, man?
Doing very well, man.
I'm excited to have you.
Me too. I feel like we've known each other for, a year probably, but in person, it's been about 10 minutes.
It's pretty wild how on social media, you can really get to know somebody and their characteristics and who they are. And I got to say, you're a lot bigger in person than you are on video. Like, you're a big dude. It was, I walk into the front room and like, oh shit, man, that's a big dude. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm excited to have you. There's a lot to talk about. I want to start up really the podcast and kind of get the audience to have a feel of who you are and where you came from. And so I know you've had some time out in, San Diego, correct? In California and all that. Where was your childhood? Where were you born?
Actually, I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but we grew up here when I was like preschool. So we lived not too far from here most of my life up until I joined the Navy. So all this, at one point was just desert. And so I went to Paradise Valley High School, lived on Greyhawk Golf Course, lived over by Horizon. So this is literally kind of like my backyard.
Oh, my goodness. So I went to Horizon.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, was it Tatum and Greenway is where I grew up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were like 56th Street and Greenway.
Okay. You're right down the road. So see, we're learning more stuff as we go.
I'm basically back home now after a stint in other places.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Do you have siblings?
I do have a brother and a sister that both live here.
Okay.
Yep. One is a speechwriter, my brother, and my sister is a nurse practitioner now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And growing up, you all got along,
pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
We take turns picking on, I'm the oldest one, so I got to kind of pick on everybody.
Yeah.
Oldest one, tallest one, so.
Oh, that's so funny.
Kind of worked out in my favor.
It worked out, exactly. Nobody's picking on you.
Yeah.
And so both are still out here, and then parents are still out here? And
Yep.
Okay, very cool.
Everyone's here now.
That's great.
Yeah,
and you're married?
Yep. Married. I have 2 stepdaughters.
Okay.
And I also have a little, almost 2-year-old daughter at home, Gianna.
Gianna, that's
just so much fun, man.
Oh, she's beautiful. Yeah. Again, noticing you and watching you on your feed through Instagram, you have so much love and compassion, obviously for your family. But I remember the first time we were supposed to meet, something was ailing your daughter, and you're like, I got it. And I'm like, dude, do your thing, and she ended up being okay, thank goodness. So you brought up that you're a Navy vet, so you brought up that you're in the Navy. What all brought that? What made you want to go into the Navy?
So I was not a fan of school, and so high school is wrapping up, and I was thinking about what am I going to do, and I really didn't want to go to college. I just was not wanting to do that.
Yeah.
And so we looked at technical trade schools. I think it was like DeVry or ITT Tech or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But at the time I was working at Sam's Club, and my buddy, really good friend of mine, came in one day and he's like, "I'm joining the Navy." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? Really? What are you talking about?" And I was like, well, that sounds interesting. And so it just kind of got the wheels turning, and I went and looked at, Marines and Air Force and Navy and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this sounds like what I want to do. And it was actually around the same time of 9/11. And so I remember I was getting ready for school. I think it was a junior then. It could be a little bit off, but it all happened, within the same kind of time frame. Got the idea of the Navy going on. 9/11 happened, and I remember sitting in class watching that, just pissed off. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to go learn how to make circuit boards now. I'm joining the fucking military.
Wow.
So the timing of all that just worked out great. And I was in from 02 to 06.
So did you walk into one of those strip centers, next to Warehouse Records or whatever, where they had the recruit centers?
Yeah, it was right next to the movie theater on, I think it's Bell Road.
32nd Street over there?
Yeah, right off the freeway.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I went in there, and of course the recruiter gave me all the typical lies and told me all the stuff I wouldn't be doing, and all that kind of shit. And I was like, I went for it.
And how long did you serve?
4 years.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And from what I've read, based on your past and doing all that, is you're kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what you learned through the Navy and all the, the technicality and on the stuff that you had worked on.
Yeah, so in the Navy, I was an avionics technician. So worked on fighter jets, but specifically like the communication, navigation, the radar, the advanced weapon systems, stuff like that. That's amazing. So that's kind of where I got my trade skill in my college and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So after the Navy, I was finally ready to come back here and go to school. I was going to go to ASU. But I put an ad out or whatever it is, a resume out on Monster, and got picked up by Lockheed Martin in California.
Wow.
And I spent 10 years out there working classified flight test programs for F-22 Raptors and F-35 fighter jets. And that kind of took my nerd level like just sky high. Like,
yeah.
I got a degree from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical. I stopped 3 courses short of my master's in aeronautical science because I knew I was getting out of that area, which we can talk about later if you want.
Yeah.
But I got to see and work with like the most advanced weapons and stealth stuff out there for about a decade. And that really kind of just, helped me become like a super nerd in that sense.
I'm so intrigued with all that stuff. I mean, we're talking like ancient alien shit that, you know, I really like.
Yeah, we're talking stuff that's like, the public won't know about for many more years.
Yeah.
The stuff that has to be tested. You have to find out when is the plane going to break? When is the weapon going to fail? What is the actual limit of these things? So you have to basically take the plane from a known safe envelope and go past that and see what happens. Record data, go farther, come back, see what happens. And you basically are trying to break the plane. So you have very specialized pilots that do that. And we basically do that so our warfighters can always be the best and have the best tools.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you a Bob Lazar fan at all?
No.
All right, we get into that later. Yeah. For people that don't know, you just don't worry about it. So it sounds like you had a really cool, like you were really into it. You're nerding out. You obviously know math and, a lot of that other stuff that goes along with all that, way outside of my spectrum. I mean, I get paid to talk legitimately, and I have great people here at the office that really deal with a lot of the numbers stuff and everything. Sure. What was it that was kind of that final resolution for you where you're like, I'm done?
So I'll tell you exactly what it was. Yeah. It's basically I was doing well. I was advancing quickly. Went from a technician to an aircraft manager to a lead control engineer over the managers, and then my next job that I applied for was seemingly out of reach, but I won the interview. But I was told by HR that they gave it to another guy who had 20 extra years experience, even though I was qualified and did an overall better job.
Yeah. And
so essentially I reached a ceiling. And they basically said, like, well, we want you for this job, but HR is not going to let you have it, and you got to have another 12, 15 years experience doing what you're doing. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking sit here for 15 years just to get the next level up. Like, there's no way I'm doing that.
Right.
And so I started to think, like, okay, I grew up a very entrepreneurial family, like, land developers and doctors and even teachers and stuff. So, like, I always, knew I wanted to do something on my own.
Yeah.
And I just reached that ceiling, and I was like, I refuse to play this game. Like, I'm just not doing it, And then my stepbrother-in-law was basically like, hey, I want to open a brewery in Arizona. Okay. What do you think? So we started to think about it, and kind of long story short, we can get into the brewery thing. I basically quit my engineering job, went to SDSU, Start Your Own Brewery School.
Yep.
Started brewing at Lucky Luke Brewery in Palmdale, California. Mm-hmm. Was brewing at my house all the time and just completely dove into that. Like, just learned everything there is about making beer, the beer world. I made just huge books of research and like all this kind of shit.
And that's science and chemistry and math and all that in itself.
Yeah, and even the business side. Like, I was like really like a project engineer manager for a lot of my time at Lockheed, and so like doing the business plan for a brewery and figuring out the equipment and the space and everything was like, this is great.
Yeah, this is fun.
This shit out,
right.
So I moved out here to open the brewery, but that was all those things kind of came together. Reached the ceiling where I didn't want to play the mouse maze anymore, and just keep running the rat maze, whatever, and had this opportunity to come out here to do a business. So I was like, that's it. Sold the house and moved.
But see, I love it because you're the type of personality that doesn't want to be comfortable.
No.
Because you were in a position to be comfortable for 10, 15 years, get your little promotion or big promotion or whatever, and be like, okay, cool, company guy.
Yep, and dude, I can't tell you how much hate I got from even like, very well respected friends and stuff that liked their job and couldn't understand why I would leave a good salary and 401 and all this kind of stuff. But to me, like, none of that mattered. I was like,
yeah, it's interesting how judgmental people can be on your choice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this.
Right.
I'm not like getting you fired or like, you're not getting forced to do something else. Like,
so you're back in Arizona now.
Yeah.
You open a brewery. What was the brewery? What happened with
So
all
we
that?
actually didn't open it.
Oh,
so
okay.
by the time I got out here, that business partner opened a solar company here locally, and like, you know, just was super taken off.
Yeah.
And didn't have time to get into the brewery. So I basically left that partnership and started branding my own brewery, brewing at my house, hardcore. It was going to be called, and it might still be someday, Ironside Brewing.
Cool.
Ironside. See this partial tattoo I have here as a USS Constitution, old Ironsides.
That's awesome.
So that was going to be the brewery name. And so I went down that path for a long time. But then, as you know, in business and life, things change. So I actually ended up helping my buddy open the Peak Nutrition stores here in Arizona.
Okay.
And one thing led to another. I wanted to get back into hospitality and beer and all that kind of stuff. And this business, Earn Your Booze, was born just out of years of being in fitness, also loving beer and drink and hospitality. And it just happened one day. And now we're like 3 years in.
Yeah, 2017, right? When you started it. And then you have a partner now too, right? Or had one?
So I basically started the whole concept. I brought on a kind of like, I call him like a cocktail celebrity partner to start it. Ended up buying him out. And now I have 2 other guys that are working with me now, Alan and Rob. So it's going to be the 3 of us that take the business to the moon.
3 Musketeers.
That's right.
Right on, man.
And of course the wife, you know.
Of course, yes. No, I understand that very well.
Yeah.
So you have created this, amazing niche. I'm going to call it a niche.
It totally is.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And it is something that I've always been an advocate of, being in hospitality for, my past 22, 23 years, growing up in the music business, watching a lot of these artists, kind of just completely just sacrifice their lives, basically rip themselves apart and do all that. And then as I ventured into hospitality, and as you know, the nightclub life, the chef life, all that sort of stuff, what was cool back in the 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s isn't necessarily cool anymore. All of that over the top, sort of addiction, and it's, it catches up, and people are looking at the history of what's going on with some of these people. And obviously you had seen it as well. So, creating a balance is huge. Right. And my assumption is, tell me a little bit about Earn Your Booze and just kind of the whole mission statement behind it and what you're growing with it.
So the idea really started in the Navy, because it had to be a good sailor, run, do pull-ups, push-ups, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But also had to be a good sailor and drink like a fish. Like this, you got to be a full-rounded sailor, right?
Right.
So it kind of just started there. At least meant, like, in my mind, I was like, a lot of guys were drinking too much all the time, or didn't give a shit about working out, barely passing their PT test or whatever. But like me and a couple of my close friends were like, no, we like we are the nerds in the shop, right? We were the avionics guys, but we beat up on the mechanics all the time. We were the biggest, most, in shape guys in the squadron, which was weird for the nerd shop, right. And so, we moved out here, and it was kind of like, I started helping breweries and like brewers and bar owners, like, kind of lose the beer gut, start to like move better and feel better. Brian Helton's one of the first ones I worked with out here. And I was like, you know what, this is like my niche. Cause I didn't want to like this, the fitness world's weird, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be like a fitness personality or influencer, like I'm not too interested in that,
right.
Like next thing you know, you're just slinging supplements and it's just nonstop selfies. And it's just like, I was like, no, like I love the hospitality and the beer side too much. Yeah. And so we're doing something for drinkers by drinkers. And that's kind of where we started.
Yeah. I would assume, so far, I would assume even in the beginning, the reception was great. People are like, I do want to be in shape. I do want to feel better, but I don't want to lose my lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so you've created a program that really helped people be in tune and in check and do all that sort of stuff. Yeah. What are some of the, what are some of the events you're going to be doing after these lifts are done? And what are some of the events that you did, prior to all this that that people partake in and that you like to put on?
So we create fitness and drink experiences, and we do it all over the country. We've traveled to a handful of different states. This year, I was supposed to do almost nothing except travel. Yeah. We had everything from New York, Miami, New Orleans, Denver, Austin, San Diego, all over the place, especially here, of course. Wow. Even down into Jalisco, Mexico. Where we basically do everything from, sometimes it depends on like what the sponsors want a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So if they want like a low key, like, yoga and like drink on the mat type thing, we can put that together. But really our bread and butter is like big energy, live DJ, lots of high fives, pointing out the hardest workers in the room to win free drink tickets.
Yeah.
My trainers are on stage doing shots in between. Like we put on a booze show, and then afterwards we have really, really highly elevated, cocktails and drinks. The music keeps going. There's usually a pool.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Well, as much as all that sounds great and sounds like a party, it's a lot of fucking work to put together.
It totally is, yeah.
Yeah, and so all the organization, I mean, that's the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's getting the sponsors, and who are some of your sponsors? Who are some of the people that have come on board with you?
So we've worked on all the big portfolio liquor brands, like, Diageo and William Grant.
Yeah.
Don Julio, Milagro Tequila, Hendrick's Gin, Sagamore Whiskey.
Wow.
But our first event was here at Scottsdale Beer Company. Unfortunately, it looks like they're closed.
Yeah.
But, we've done Hilton Beer Company. We've worked with a lot of different smaller brands and some of the world's largest liquor brands.
And in the very beginning, was it a lot of just hustling on your part to let them know kind of what you're doing? And now I would assume that people are now approaching you saying, hey, you've got a following, you've got a base.
Yeah, like the first year was essentially like, come to our free event,
right?
Buy a shirt if you can, like thank you, Doug, for supplying a free pint type thing, like that. And it pretty quickly became like a whiteboard like this, a list of sponsors that want to do stuff. So it's like, okay, what can we actually do?
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't want to expand too fast, and COVID is probably the reason I didn't know was coming, but we were very close to like having little branches in all the big cities. Hiring people to run them out there, set them up, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, now it's basically we're just waiting to open back up and see what we can plug in.
So that was, and that leads me into what I was thinking about is that when you say branches all over, I mean, Earn Your Booze is, it's very unique. It's very much, I would assume, just being in Arizona, the only thing that I've seen like it out here. So when you look around the United States, is anybody doing anything that's not like you, but you know what I'm saying, kind of duplicating that sort of thing?
Kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
The closest one would probably be Michelob Ultra.
Okay.
They have their Ultra Fest where they have like, fitness events and all that, and then you can drink their beer, but it's just Michelob Ultra.
Right.
It's hard to get a lot of people excited about that.
No, that's very true.
So we, with our brand, can work with any liquor, any beer, any wine, anything. That's why we went with booze, because it includes everything and everything, right? But that's really the closest, because everyone, there's a lot of brewery workouts, brewery yoga, but it's usually very hyper local, kind of small, pay $10, get a free pint, no big deal. But we actually come in, we make a lot of noise and make a real experience out of it.
That's amazing. It's like Vegas style, just kind of, just have some fun and get your energy on. And then you have ambassadors that are part of the brand as well. So do you have like nationwide ambassadors too?
Most of them are here. We have a handful here. We actually have one in Hong Kong. Who right after we brought her on, all sorts of shit started happening in Hong Kong.
No kidding. Wow.
That place is still a wreck, I think. So we're just kind of waiting again for things to open up. We have an affiliate program to help move apparel. Just because we want the mindset to be out there.
Yeah.
Even if we can't do an event, if somebody thinks or hears the phrase "Earn Your Booze," it gets them, and that gets them to like move their ass a little bit more before they drink that night.
Yeah.
We won. So anything we can do.
You absolutely have. Are there any rules as far as partaking in the events, as far as people like when I guess everybody kind of has to make that choice for themselves, like when is too much, as far as drinking wise, or so is there like a rule, like if you're going to have a hangover in the morning, you need to stop so you can get up and work out? Or
I mean, it comes down to individual responsibility, right?
100%.
But one of the things we do teach, we have another thing called nutritionfordrinkers.com.
Okay.
Where we do 30-day challenges, and we teach you how to lower your body's toxicity levels.
Yep.
And essentially like make room for the drinks, right? And when you really take an intentional approach to what you eat, what you drink, how you move your body, it becomes a lot easier to manage the hangover type stuff, because if you're working hard during the week, if you're feeling good and you do go out with your friends, it's a lot easier to be like, I'm not going to go as crazy,
right?
Because I don't want to wake up feeling like shit tomorrow.
And I don't think it's really necessarily for you guys the promotion of alcohol in general. It's the promotion of going out and celebrating and having a good time with your friends. It's the socialization of it and being fit.
Right, and especially at our events, we my trainers will drink a little bit on stage, but like no one's allowed to do that who came to the event. You have to wait till afterwards, right? And we always supply like one or two like really high quality drinks, and then they're kind of on their own, but like everyone is beat up after a really good workout.
Right.
So I don't think we've ever really had anyone that had a problem overindulging, but we always have like a lift code. We always are very, help people get home. You got to be 21. So people that come are like not really looking to get just fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
They're there to have a good fitness and drink experience, meet some people. So chances are what usually happens is they have some drinks, they meet some girls and some guys and exchange numbers, get themselves home, and then they go do whatever they want that night.
And then they have the commonality of like, wanting to work out or, hey, let's hook up, climb Camelback Mountain and, then go out for some drinks. And so not only are you promoting the fitness industry, but also the nightclub, bar, restaurant industry,
right.
And getting that balance, which is great because again, it's something that nobody else is promoting or doing. And so, I had put together kind of a subsect of what I was doing about promoting healthy hospitality. Right. And that was getting back into the nutritional thing. That was really helping these chefs and these workers that while they're working in their restaurants to not just grab shit off the line and be eating stuff that's, every day preparing, having that mindset, stretching. I mean, all these little things and all these little, items that I think people don't think about on a daily basis, but if you're able to do something to just remind somebody, if you just change just a little bit,
right,
it can make a huge difference.
And especially like bartenders and liquor reps, there's no shortage of free booze.
No.
So and you can kind of lose track of that. Like it might be, your routine to have a shifty or a few drinks here and there, but before you know it, that shit adds up. And especially when it's free and your friends are bartenders or you're a rep that everybody knows, you don't ever get a bill. You get, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's not earning your booze. That's just taking it.
Right. So that's why we want that mindset to be there. Like, especially if you're in that industry and you drink a lot, maybe because you have to, because of your job or it's just how you choose to live. Like, you got to turn up the earn a little bit.
100%. Yeah. Tell us about some of the charity work that you guys do and who you give back to and all that stuff. I know you do a lot of that.
We actually have a program going right now. I designed a shirt that says, I gave you one actually, Legalize Lifting.
Thank you. I'm going to pull it out.
So if you think about earn is like half of our business, earn is essentially movement, right? So it's, maybe I give you a military one. Let's see which one I gave you. Nope, I give you a military one. I'm going to bring you the Legalize Lifting one.
Okay, cool.
So
the merch is awesome, by the way. I'm kind of showing it but we'll give you all the links to all the places where you can get this stuff. And the clothing fabric is
your guy too.
It's American Apparel. It's perfect.
Yeah, this is my favorite shirts. Yeah, so right now with here in the state of Arizona and like 8 or 9 other states, gyms are closed essentially.
Yeah,
we're starting to see a little bit of opening with very restrictive measures and stuff. But essentially, think about what people have been doing the past couple months. People feel like shit because they've been drinking and eating and haven't been moving their bodies. They haven't been earning what they're putting in.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of sitting here, like I have a lot of friends that own gyms, that are personal trainers, that are just a lot of people that, like our message and our brand that have not been able to move and earn it. And I was like, you know what, we got to do something, right? So came up with the shirt, Legalize Lifting, and we're giving a majority of pretty much all proceeds right back to the local fitness community.
That's awesome.
So we even have during checkout, on our website, there's an extra donation button. 100% of that is going back. And then we partnered up with the nutrition store I told you I opened, Peak Nutrition, and basically they're wholesaling shirts there for donation based.
Okay.
You can give $15 for a shirt or $500 for a shirt, whatever it is, all going back to the local community. So we just started that a couple days ago. We haven't even done like any press or anything on it yet, but it is absolutely taking off.
Well, we'll definitely do our part to spread the word for sure. And I got to get my dad one of those shirts. He'll love it.
Oh, he totally love it. Yeah. And Peak Nutrition, you know where it's at, 64th and Greenway. They just placed their third order because they're selling through it.
That's great.
But then beyond that, when we do our events, we usually try to focus on like veteran-focused events. It's myself and my wife, being veterans. So we've worked with Dogs for Vets. We've worked with all sorts of different companies that or charities that help veterans with everything from suicide awareness to training your dog to hear when the door opens or whatever you might need. Those are the ones we gravitate towards.
Yeah, you grabbed my heart there because you can see my dogs on my shoes there.
Oh yeah, so cool.
Those are my mini Aussies, always with me.
That's awesome.
Those little shits sleep in bed with me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Literally have a separate room for me and the dogs. But
that's great.
Another story. So and you had mentioned your wife was in the military. Where did she serve?
She was Air Force.
Okay.
Yep. So when I got out of the Navy and went to work for Lockheed, she was actually my trainer on day one.
Oh my goodness.
And so long story short, ended up kicking out the current occupant of her house. We got married and now we live here and have a kid.
There you go. Yeah,
that's how that went. Yeah.
That is so funny. We're living in a day right now, and this recording is in August of 2020. So by the time it comes out, it might be September or whatever. But just for kind of a basis, we're living in a day and age where, and especially in Arizona, you've got gyms and you've got bars, both mandated to be closed.
Right.
I mean, the two things that you are
literally
synergistically, trying to put together.
Right.
Again, this is, no holds barred. I mean, what's your opinion?
I think it's kind of ridiculous on the face because, like you said, it's 2020. We're pretty smart people these days.
Yeah.
If we're able to go to Safeway in a safe manner or go to Topgolf in a safe manner, we can go to the gym. I'll use one of my friends, for example. Nikki Metzger owns Body in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I know Nikki.
They've done an unbelievable job sectioning off where you can be in the gym when you work out, all individual equipment, more sanitizer than you can imagine. It's cleaner than anywhere you can go in the whole state.
Right.
But they're closed.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, it doesn't make any sense because we can open safely. And one, we have to do it for the individual, right? Like, I don't know about you, but for me, like when I'm stressed out or I'm dealing with something, the way I get that off of my mind is a hardcore workout, whether it's 100%. Boxing or just whatever, a workout. You always feel great mentally afterwards, right?
Yes.
And physically, we need it. Our muscles, our organs, our bones, everything needs to move. Old people typically break because they're not moving.
Right.
Their bones become brittle, and if you don't use your body, it's just going to say, well, okay, peace out,
Yeah.
So there's that, but then also from the small business aspect, these businesses exist. It's very hard to have a gym that makes a ton of money.
Right.
It's not a very lucrative business, and they exist to keep the rest of us healthy.
Yeah.
And they've been shut. A lot of them are not going to open, or they're struggling tremendously. So I don't agree with it at all, which is why we started legalized lifting.
Yeah.
We're not advocating for just a big middle finger, we're going to do what we want type thing. We know we can get people in there to take care of their mental and physical health safely.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. And you're absolutely right. I mean, for me, it's a run in the 111-degree heat. I just, 3-4 miles on that'll clear my head real quick and make me feel a little queasy.
And we've had some pushback, just like anything, especially that gets some traction. There's going to be people that try to call it out or whatever, and they're like, oh, no, just work out at home, just do push-ups. And I'm like, you realize the average person cannot stay motivated more than like 3 days to work out at home, and it's been how many months now?
It's so true.
Like, gyms exist for a reason. If it was that easy to just work out at home and just feel great and look great, everyone would do it.
No, it's very true. Moving back into the business aspect of stuff, from what you have learned starting your own business and from an entrepreneurial level, how important is, basically picking your partners and trademarking and doing all that stuff? Did you learn any of those lessons the hard way, or has it been?
Yeah. A lot of it the hard way. It's extremely important.
Yeah.
When you go into business with somebody as a partner, you're essentially getting married to them. As much I live with my wife, obviously, but I've seen there's been many periods of time where I would see my business partner and talk to them a hell of a lot more than my wife.
Yeah.
So that person you have to trust completely. And if you're not aligned on the company's vision and goals, like, it's going to lead to problems, 100%.
Yeah.
So, I bought my first partner out, and that was he provided a ton of value to the business. Like, it was a great partnership, but it just reached a point where you just can't go on. So you got to be prepared for that. If you're going to get in business with someone, even if you think this is the dopest person ever, I can't wait to do this business for 50 years with this person,
right,
and you put all your emotional energy into them, you just got to be realistic. Like, no, that might be over in 6 months, and it might end bad or well. When it comes to business and money, all bets are off.
Get your shit in writing.
Yeah, and as far as trademark goes, I trademark everything I can think of.
That's awesome.
I think I bought an extra 21 or 22 trademarks this year.
Yeah.
Earn your everything you can imagine.
Perfect.
Plus, I mean, just about everything that you might see me post about, especially on the business, chances are it's already been filed. So I'm very strong on that kind of IP.
No, I love it. And then as far as you as an individual and personally, have you always been in shape? Was there a time where you were like, kind of a fat slob and you're like, okay, this is it. I got to get back into doing this stuff. I mean, what's been your MO?
So that's kind of back to the Navy day. Like that kind of like became my thing, is the guy that had a 6-pack and would drink, 30-pack of beer. Like that was kind of my thing. So I was luckily able to keep that going. But there's definitely been periods like where I was like, really starting a business and there was just more work to do than there were hours in the day, where I would take a few months off and I would start to, just kind of, I would say get soft or whatever and kind of go back. But I'm kind of over that. Like, without your health, you have nothing. So I make time every single day to move. And I'm very adamant about taking my, my vitamins and supplements. I drink over a gallon of water every single day of the week. And that's something that I've slacked on a little bit here and there, but now I just can't let myself do it.
Are you still in the midst of 75 Hard?
I actually just stopped it yesterday.
Did you?
Yep.
So stopped it or finished it?
Stopped it. Did not complete it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't because I did a cheat meal or booze or anything. It's just one thing led to another. I didn't take a selfie or read my book one day.
Yeah.
So I have to start over.
You got to start over.
So
and for anybody that doesn't,
I wasn't gonna like pretend like I did it. So
right. Because that's all.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's for.
If you go through 75 Hard knowing you didn't actually do it, you're gonna fucking hate yourself.
100%. And we're not going to get into the rules of 75 Hard. Any of you listening, just Google it. You'll find out. But it's a very interesting program. And I've seen on your Instagram, you've hung out with Andy and his brother.
Met him a couple times.
Been out there. Yeah. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
I started it once and lasted about a month. And then just that same thing. I just lost track and,
Yeah, but there's an app now that helps.
Yeah.
But still, it's just... Really, my real answer is I made the choice not to do it because it's not like you either do it or you don't do it.
Yeah, and during the summer in Arizona, because one of the workouts has to be outdoors.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of those 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Still almost 100 degrees, so didn't really save me from much. But
yeah, I'm in bed. I'm the most boring person there is. I know people listening, because of your fitness and what you do, will probably be interested to kind of learn a little bit of, how you eat, and if you have any rules to how you eat, and, the generic questions, do you fast, and, do you eat lots of protein, and, what's kind of, and I know for me, I'm a true believer in everybody's body type is completely different.
Sure.
Like you have to pick what works for you. That's my opinion. But I mean, what do you think?
Well, just like business, test.
Yeah.
Right. I've done intermittent fasting. I've tried all sorts of different diets and rules and all that kind of stuff. But basically what I do now is I just try to eat as clean as possible. I try to avoid all sugar. Mm-hmm. And the sugar for me is really the big thing. Like yesterday, for example, I was craving some sugar and I had a peanut butter and jelly. What happened about 30 minutes later? I felt like I needed a nap. So I really just kind of eat intuitively clean.
Yeah.
And but I still eat what I want.
Yeah.
I still eat burgers. I'll still eat pizza. I'll still eat chicken wings. Not as much, but that's kind of like our whole thing with Earn Your Booze. Work hard, but still enjoy your life.
Yeah.
If bodybuilding, like your dad, he'll know it's tough. Because you have such a far away goal, if you're not competing for 6 months or 9 months or whatever, there's a lot that happens during 9 months. And if you're skipping out on, family, or skipping out on an occasional glass of whiskey or whatever, it can be kind of risky because tomorrow's not promised for anyone. So we kind of try to find the best of both worlds, where you're taking good care of yourself, but also enjoying what you put in your body. And that's essentially how I eat.
That's great. I mean, what an amazing balance, and what an amazing message to people, listening. It's like, you don't have, there's no such thing as a diet. It's earn your way and enjoy it.
Yeah. So nutritionfordrinkers.com, we teamed up with Nourish, N-R-I-S-H, my buddy Will right here in town.
Yeah.
And they're like the diet killer. That's their thing.
Love it.
They don't want, diets don't work. They're fads.
Right.
So if you can just teach yourself how to essentially eat, no matter if you're at a bar or at home or whatever, that's how you win.
Yeah, eat whole foods. I mean.
Yeah, you over time, of course, you try extra protein, maybe try keto, try different things if you want, and find something that just kind of works for you.
Do you do regular blood tests?
I do. Every couple months.
Yeah, I do too. Isn't that phenomenal? Like after you've done a few of them and you're kind of really nerding through and looking through, and I'm sure you nerd through that shit, and you're like, whoa, my hemoglobin and my, my testosterone, all those different things.
It's incredible. I'm kind of addicted to it.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, so like that was like vitamin D is one of the things that we think is causing a lot of people to be sick from COVID or get extra sick or die, right?
Yeah.
Most people are extremely deficient in D. Yeah. And I don't think I ever would have thought of that or known that had I not started blood work. Every day, 3 drops under the tongue twice a day, morning and night.
Yeah.
And I can see it. That's what's so cool about the blood work.
Right.
Is it's not just popping supplements because your coach told you to or whatever and you think you're doing right.
Yeah.
When you do your blood work, like you said, you see your prostate score. You see your testosterone. You see your vitamin D. You see what's happening like actually in your body. And then you can make some little tweaks and some changes. And like I kind of like almost a little addicted to it. I'm trying to get like a perfect score,
Same here. As you get older, you're trying to get better.
I'm like, shit, I need a little bit more fish oil in there,
Right.
Like, okay, let's just,
And what's under the hood's got more miles on it, but yet you're trying to just, make sure that you're lubing it up and taking care of it and checking up on it. And more people are doing that. I mean, they're legitimately getting their blood tests. They're looking at like, how do I improve? Where do I go? And, for the most part, you and I, and I'm sure there's others out there that are listening that can look at their blood tests and be like, cool, I know the adjustments that I need to make. You don't have to go pay the $800 to sit in front of a, just a general practitioner that's just going to be like, you need to do this. It's really knowing your body and what goes on and then feeling, after you eat something or drink something, the reaction that you that you have from it.
And I would definitely say, I tell this to everybody, go to an actual, like if you're a man, men's health center.
Yeah.
Go to a hormone. Don't go to your general practitioner because chances are he's just going to say, pop a couple natural test boosters or just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But you need someone that actually knows how to read the blood work and actually know if you do need TRT or if you do need anything else that your general doctor might not talk about, right?
For sure. Yeah, there's a specialist for everything.
Yeah.
Did you trademark Earn Your Weed?
Not weed, but we've considered earn a couple of things like earn your dubs, earn your joint, earn your stuff like that. So
no, you're nothing against that, right?
No, not at all.
No, okay.
That's actually the one thing I probably haven't trademarked yet. So I should probably do that today before this podcast comes out.
You have a few weeks, so don't worry.
We've definitely thought about it. Nothing against it at all.
Yeah, right. If anything, it makes you just eat more. So
I mean, that's the only way I sleep sometimes is if I hit my vape pen.
Yeah,
it's like that's my problem with sleeping is like I'm so in tune with like this is one of the downsides of having your blood work correct and and all that. Like I don't sleep much,
right?
And then with my business and everything, my mind's always going.
You're amped. Yeah,
I have a very hard time sleeping.
You're a thinker. I can tell. You're just very focused and in line. And
so sometimes I just need to hit a big, weed pen just to shut my brain off.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so funny. Let's talk about, I assume you do a lot of, when you do these events, I mean, you're the host of these events and you do public speaking and stuff like that. Has Earn Your Booze grows and becomes more of this, this mega company that you're going to develop it into? Is there more stuff like that you're going to want to do as far as like speaking around the country and setting up, different things? Yeah,
for sure. So this year, I'm sure NCB Nightclub and Bar in Vegas was canceled, and now it's October 21st or something like that. So I'm going to be speaking there on stage, just talking kind of what we're doing here. Like what is Earn Your Booze and how can I be a hospitality professional and still take care of myself? I didn't think that was a thing, right?
Right.
So yes, there's definitely a lot more opportunity for that. We've talked with nightclub or what's one in Brooklyn?
I don't know the name offhand. But
So we talked in Brooklyn, NCB for sure. We do. I just did a podcast with Sagamore Spirit the other day talking about it. So there's a lot of room for this message in hospitality, whether it's in a liquor brand or in a nightclub and bar, convention or whatever. So it's definitely something I'm passionate about doing. No,
that's great. I mean, people are gonna do their thing. I just sent my son off to college. I mean, I just sent him off to U of A, and I'm like, dude, just be smart. He's not even of legal drinking age, but just be smart because you just know what's gonna happen. But he loves the aspect of fitness too. Mm-hmm. So it's there's a lot of people that even at 18, 19, 20, as they get into it, if they build the fitness part of it, they don't ever want to lose that and get too carried away on the drinking part.
And I kind of wish that would be one thing I would like tell myself was like I said, I was always kind of like very much into fitness, but there were definitely periods of time like right out of the Navy or even of course in the Navy where you just drank too much.
Yeah.
Like, I just know that. Like,
right.
Because you get to a point, especially when you're that age, you don't really know, like, it's like a challenge to see who can drink the most, and shit like that, but you don't need that. And I'm like, okay, how much damage did I do back then? So that'd be one thing I would love to tell people that are like your son's age.
Yeah.
Like, you can, we're not going to advocate for him to do this, but if you drink,
right,
you don't need to go and be the biggest drinker in the room. You can and should turn down extra shots and beer bongs. Like 100%. You don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Like you can still enjoy what's happening for whatever in the scenario without going overboard.
Yeah.
It leads to all sorts of legal problems, health problems. Just you don't need to go that crazy.
Well, and it's illegal.
It's illegal, right?
But also having them learn and even get more into the rush of being fit. I mean, knowing when you're that age and you're at the top of your game at that age. I mean, your testosterone is 1,600. Right. The only thing you can think of is, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So knowing that you can make big strides in your physical health as well and learn that for the rest of your life. And I'm hoping that's what I've been able to perceive to, to show my sons, that, hey, this is your time.
And even from not even from a health perspective, just it's a pure dominating what you're going to do in your life perspective. How much time did even myself or do people just waste drinking,
right? Being
drunk, being hungover. You know what you could do with an extra 2 hours in your day if you were focused on a business idea or schooling or whatever. There's just so much time wasted is the other thing.
Mine was about 10 years.
Yeah, right?
Back to back. But yeah, no, it's so true. How about the local Arizona scene? What do you love about the food and the nightclub scene? And do you go out to eat, I don't know, not necessarily a lot, but, enough to just kind of partake? And I would assume you like going local and supporting all that. And so you've been, obviously Miami, New York, and done some of your stuff. How do you feel what's your love for Arizona?
What I love about Arizona is, one, that not too many people seem to know about it from the outside, because I think we have a phenomenal food and drink scene here. I sometimes, if someone is from out of state, I'll tell them it's kind of like going to Vegas where you have all these great options of stuff, but we have all that here. Scott Conant opened up his restaurant here. Yeah. We have a very strong food and drink scene, and especially where I live downtown, 7th Avenue and Thomas, we're at $7 Uber ride to countless bars and restaurants and things like that. But so I think our food and drink scene is very strong, and I just love how, it's very high quality stuff. And there's a mix of everything. You can find really good ethnic, pretty much everything, whatever you're in the mood for.
Absolutely.
The breweries we got phenomenal breweries. We got phenomenal local distilleries. We have some of the best cocktail bars in the whole country.
Yep.
So I
I
don't really want to leave I want a bigger lot, but I don't want to really leave my area.
You want to go hang out in the train over at Century Grand.
Pretty much, yeah.
Watch that thing roll by.
That thing.
No, that's great. Before I get into some quick rapid fire questions, anything you want to leave with as far as what you're hopeful for towards the end of the year and how you're going to, obviously you're helping the gyms out now, but anything else that you want to leave with?
I'm just hoping that by the end of the year, people are able to get back to a healthy routine.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, because, Drizzly's, Drizzly.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Booze delivered to your door.
Yep.
Drink sales are through the roof, and I'm a little concerned at how much damage is being done just in general to people out there, mentally and physically. So I'm really hoping that by the end of the year, we can be full back to earn, and we can really just be driving, not ads just to sell stuff, but just our message. Yeah. Get back out there and start moving your body, because you got a lot of time to make up for.
Well, and I can see it in your eyes and your tone and your demeanor. You really care about people. It's not about let me start a company so I can party, and it's about booze and this and that. No, you are legitimately doing something that people are going to drink. I mean, alcohol is a huge industry,
for sure.
and fitness is a huge industry. And so you've really created just something so amazing for people that are going to partake in both of those things to feel a part of something. And I think it's admirable.
I'll tell you real quickly. We show, on one hand, we have fitness and earn, right?
Yeah.
Bodybuilding, CrossFit, yoga, whatever, those kind of people. And over here we have everything else, the party, the drink, the bars, and all that. So some people on the fitness side need us to be like, oh, I can relax and have a drink. Yeah. It's okay. You know, it's cool. I don't have to take this too seriously, right?
Right.
And on the other side, you have people that are all in, drink, and are maybe intimidated to go to a gym or hire a trainer or even think about a workout program. And so we go to both sides like, no, there's a space for both of you guys in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's
just so fun about the two industries.
All right. Couple questions for you here. Pizza or sushi?
Sushi.
Nice. Sashimi or?
That was a really good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I love pizza. I get my own pizza when we go somewhere. You know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, sushi, sashimi, rolls,
so good.
Sake bombs, everything.
Yeah, I got to take you to a place near my house now.
I am down right now.
Aliens or Bigfoot?
Ooh, aliens.
Yeah. Thought that was coming. Tupac or Slayer?
Man. I like the Slayer genre better. I'm more into heavy metal, and just metal in general. But Slayer would be not one of my top ones. Although I love Raining Blood, I've listened to that song 1,000 times, of course. So
let me guess, you're more kind of in the Metallica Megadeth camp?
No. Like right now, my favorite band is Bad Wolves.
Okay, yeah.
So I like Bad Wolves, Pantera,
Perfect.
Seven Dust.
Yeah. Did you ever get into butt rock?
Kill Switch.
I call it butt rock.
Butt rock.
Yeah. Did you ever like Rat and Winger and all that?
No, not really.
No, okay. Yeah. I'm a little embarrassed right now.
But that's an interesting name though, butt rock.
Yeah. You know, just the.
So I guess I'll take the genre of. I do like a lot of rap too though. So, but let's go Slayer.
Okay, go Slayer. Kettlebells or dumbbells?
I'm just now getting into kettlebells. Right now, kettlebells.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Netflix or burpees?
Oh, Jesus. Netflix, for sure. Burpees are the worst.
I don't know where I come up with these questions.
Those are the worst.
Vodka or Hennessy?
Hennessy.
Okay. Yoga or Pilates?
Pilates.
Pilates are a bitch.
It's hard as shit.
Yeah. I mean, don't laugh, people, but seriously, it
is extremely hard.
Yeah, my wife had me going. She smoked my ass. I'm sitting here like struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuts. Ford or Chevy?
Chevy.
Ninja or Cowboy?
Cowboy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, we're in Arizona too.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be a cowboy.
Yeah, I never heard of a ninja that had a revolver either. So.
No, me neither. And actually, this is my generic question for every time. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Wars.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah. I'm a Star Wars nerd. We'll get into that later. So, Justin, it's been amazing having you here. Where can everybody find you? What are your handles? And we'll add it all on the stuff or whatever. But what's the best way to
Earn Your Booze everything? So Instagram is at Earn Your Booze, earnyourbooze.com. Cheers at earnyourbooze.com if you need to email me.
Yeah.
And just slide into the DMs. You know, we'll chat there.
I love it. Yeah, you're very responsive and you're very active on social media, both on your personal one and the Earn Your Booze. So that's cool. Well, thanks for coming in. I had a great time with you. It's been a lot of fun. Man. I'm excited to get this one out. And, thank you everybody for listening. Please get on the bar restaurant podcast list, the BRP list, and just be cool because Justin's cool and my guests are cool, and give us a 5-star, help us out with our rankings and all that. And this podcast was sponsored by myself, Bar Restaurant Insurance, and Local 480. And I want to thank my Local 480 team for all the production and everything that they put behind this, because they rock. So until next time, thanks, and we'll chat with you guys later.